Hey Maria, back with another video. It's like 1:50 p.m. and I am sitting in the park. I decided to go for a little walk, and it's really pretty outside. The weather says that it's like, the Weather Channel says it's 78 degrees, and I'm like, okay, the weather is just beautiful right now. And so, I noticed that a lot of people have birthday parties and stuff like that at the park. We have that over here, and there's two people under a tree cuddling and kissing, which is very common in a park. And of course, got the kids playing on the playground, and it's just really cute today. Anyway, so I'm just kind of thinking, and just getting my thoughts together. There's some really good videos on YouTube. I don't know if people are interested in old retails and companies that actually went out of business or are struggling to stay on top. And I was thinking, how some companies, even though they were in business for such a very long time, they lack vision. They don't understand like how things work, in the economy, and they don't really pay attention to those signs, and that's oftentimes the biggest problem in certain companies. Some companies take a very long time getting their products online, even though they noticed that other people were starting to make money, and it was becoming kind of a trend. And it's very shocking to see some of these abandoned malls throughout the United States, as well as some of the abandoned plazas. Some of them aren't completely abandoned, but some of them are, occupied, maybe one building here, and there's a bunch of empty spaces and stuff. So obviously there's a lot going on right now that's, significantly changing how we do business. And it's just absolutely fascinating. So I was thinking about that today. It's like how people don't pay attention to what's going on around them, And I'm looking at some of these big companies that are just like becoming defunct. And, it's like, man, I remember this particular company and growing up with them, and now they're not here anymore. Hi. I think you thought I was talking to myself. No, I'm talking into my phone. But I think people just they lack vision, and that's really bad. So this doesn't really have anything to gang stalking. I'm just kind of talking in general today, but I did have the elements of gang stalking on my mind today when I got up today, and as I was kind of cleaning up my house and getting dressed or whatever, I did think about it because it takes up a lot of my time because it's a very painful experience to go through. I was thinking how I felt as though in my life I was one of those people who could see what was going to happen in the future, what was going to be the next trend, or, those sort of things. I felt as though I had a lot of potential, in my life. And I see where that can be done, where other people kind of fail at it. So I wanted to do things with myself, with my life, So I guess I'm a little heartbroken, downhearted because things have taken such a bizarre turn in my life. And, especially at the age that I am in, that's a very painful thing. But anyway, I'm trying to find things to keep myself busy. My mind is just really scattered because this is a very earth-shattering thing in the back of my mind. I've reached out to the cute guy. I haven't heard anything from him. I just wish people would stop thinking that I'm going to yell at them or be mad at them. I'm not going to do that. Save my anger for my blood relations and Karen Johnson and all these other people. That's who really deserves to get their ass shredded. But I'm not mad at him or his mom or his brothers or whatever. I'm not mad at them. But I do get a little upset when I don't hear anything from him. It's like, okay, it kind of bothers me, probably because I have a crush on him, but anyway, I don't know, I'm tired, and I'm just kind of drained, it's drained in general, and thinking about stuff, and the sunlight does help, if you ever go through a form of depression, sunlight can really be of great benefit to people who are going through, mental problems, depression. And when I say mental problems, I get the feeling that, a lot of people were making assumptions about me. No, I'm not crazy. I don't have any mental disabilities in any way, shape, or form. I will say, though, because of my intellectual capabilities, it does put me in a category that makes me different than people because I have a higher level of intelligence than a lot of people. And because of that, you become, you're kind of eccentric. I don't like to use the word eccentric for myself. I've heard people describe me that way, and that kind of, because they think, sometimes people say it as a compliment, but I always think of someone like the people that I was just watching a show about, where, I don't know, that's just too weird. But I was referring to the Grey Gardens, I believe they, forgot their last name, Beals. The Beals, who were related to Jackie Onassis. That's really just so way out there, way out there. But no, I mean, I can communicate with other people, Of course, if it's under normal circumstances and I'm not being gang stalked or be approached by perps, then of course, I can hold just about any conversation with some of the most, higher level of social, I guess, the, people who are in what they call superior positions or have a decent higher level of society. I can talk to people, but then unfortunately, when you get put in these situations, you're just kind of always in an environment where like tensions are high and all this other crap. It's crazy, but so nobody's going to sit here and like want to chat it up with people who are basically going to stab you in the back, right? So I had some really strange dreams yesterday, which I really do believe a lot of dreams need to be paid more attention to. And, this one I believe was of a prophetic nature. Maybe not so much prophetic, because usually when you say prophetic, that means certain things are going to come into the future. This was more like a storytelling of things that have happened in my past to make me understand what happened. And so, but it was disturbing nonetheless. Nobody likes to have those thoughts, and that's really, hi. I didn't want you to think I was talking to myself. I'm actually talking into my camera. But anyway, yeah. So I'm just like explaining this to this guy. Anyway, I'm getting a train of thought. I guess I get frustrated when dealing with, the things that have happened, and then the people who kind of want to be silent about it, because it's like, it's hard because it makes me feel like, they are willing to let me shoulder the burden for things that I didn't do, or suffer for, endlessly for things that I had nothing to do with, and then they get silent about it, and it makes me feel like, well, are you truly my friend, or who are you? I don't know, but I don't know. Sometimes people do things and they don't want to fess up to it. And, I know as a kid when I would do something wrong, it was really hard for me to admit that I did it. And then, I realized throughout the years, like once you do something and it eats you up so much, the guilt eats you up so much that, that it's just better to release it, and it's easier really if you just take those first steps. It's easier when you do that instead of, letting pride or arrogance or the feeling that you have to hide your flaws, it's not, everyone's human, and people can be led or convinced to do all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean? Because, that's just the way it is, So, I think Stephen's involvement in this it's forgivable. I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. Anyway, I am a little perturbed, as far as like the mixture of Karen and Stephen, Steve Murray involved in this. It's like, oh man, that really sucks. It sucks big time. But I did some thinking last night, and I made some recordings, and these recordings are more for me, but I kept thinking, well, maybe I should post them. It's like, no. I try to get as deep in my thought about certain things and memories that happened, things that occurred, and trying to remember them in chronological order. And some of it just gets too confusing because some of the issues that I was being confronted with were multiple. I had like all kinds of different issues that were being presented to me, and I now am able to decipher the messages that were coming to me. More because a lot of times, people in the community, they're involved in it, and they don't know. They are convinced that what they're talking about. And they think that you're hiding a secret from them, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? I don't have any fucking secrets. I don't. I really don't fucking have any. Nothing that's like, enough to sit here and have my name all over around the world. I mean, but I think they like to make up dramas, and I think I hear church bells. Yes, I do. Oh gosh, church bells are awesome. Anyway, yeah, it's 2:00. So, I don't know. The gossip is just ridiculous, No, I mean, I don't really have any. I mean, yeah, everybody has done things in their life that they're not proud of, but it's just like, the crap that I'm suffering for, I had nothing to do with, and the things that I did in my past, that's my past. Everybody's did something wrong in their life, and then you learn from it and you don't make the same mistake. That's what you're supposed to do in life. That's how you learn, really. Trial and error. Some people make too big of errors, like some people make big mistakes that are punishable by death, and some people make lighter mistakes. Hopefully most people, know not to go too far when it comes to that trial and error stuff, making those kind of mistakes. But sadly, there are a lot of people who have, and some of these people aren't necessarily bad people. They just, they were upset, they were frustrated, and they followed their natural animal instinct, and they end up killing somebody, and it's like, oh man. That's why people need to know and understand self-control and restraint, because, anybody can be in that situation. People say, oh, I'd never do that. You have no idea what can push your buttons. I will tell you that this situation pushed my buttons, okay? And the only reason why I'm not one of those weird, maniacs is because I don't want to go to jail. You know what I mean? But in my mind, I do believe that people really deserved to get plowed down. And I think people who dangle at people's lives in front of your face, you do deserve to be plowed down. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't even have a grave marker. That's exactly how I feel. Because you take it upon yourself to decide the quality of somebody's life. You know what I mean? You're not God, and so anybody who tries to play that role deserves to get that, and more, but anyway, I'm not God himself, so it's like I really don't want to say that, but I know that there's certain references in the Bible that talk about things that are very similar. Sure, I don't have actual livestock, but it's the same thing. That's how people, survived back then, and then somebody fucks my livestock up for the sheer enjoyment of beating me out of monetary gain. Yeah, I fucking hate you. Anyway. Sorry, but I don't know. It's just crazy. I think so much more about this Orwellian. It is Orwellian. I remember writing a girl, a representative from what do you call those places? An employment agency, and I was telling her what was going on around me, because when I first sent her that letter, I realized that somebody is just too honed in on me, like I'm being fixated on, and it was really uncomfortable. And I said that there was a very Orwellian atmosphere that I was experiencing. This is before I knew my family was involved and all this other stuff. This is what I said. But the more I think about it, it's not just feeling the uncomfortable feeling at where I was at work and what was going on at that time in 2014 or late 2013, somewhere around there. What it is that, this whole issue relating to Facebook and the abilities that people have of putting people's houses under surveillance in such a common way, is that we are experiencing this. This is like that 1984 book, kind of, where people are like, even thought police. Okay, I was thinking about that. How it was like they wanted to control everything that you thought. And I know that I've had conversations in the privacy of my own home, okay? And then I would be walking or talking to somebody, or even there was some employment ads that were kind of, implying things about me, about my personal opinions in life. And so it is like, well, these people want to control you. These people are obsessed with you. They want to control and manipulate your life. And I'm referring to the employers who got involved in this. And it's very strange, okay? But these predictions that that he was talking about were not off. We are in that time right now where things are extremely. You can go anywhere right now and look up in a public place, and you're going to see security cameras. People's houses are under surveillance. Employers are becoming more and more involved in this kind of agenda, this Orwellian agenda that I'm talking about. And we are living in that time right now, you know. And I was thinking, how would somebody get away from, you know, living in this Orwellian system? I kept thinking about certain remote places that I used to go to when I was a kid, places where like there was no houses. The only thing that you would see was maybe a tree stump or something like that. And I kept thinking, you know, I know some of these places are even mapped out on Google, so I'm sure that they don't have all the privacy that they even have. Those spaces should have. So it's getting to the point where, you know, we don't have a place to go. We don't have a place to go. We don't have a place to hide from this monster, you know, that's come across, that has, you know, come and affected our lives in this generation. So I don't know. I mean, it's very strange, you know. And I'm not even going to bring in the subject matter of all these weird things like artificial intelligence. And some of these targets are experiencing things that, you know, I have not experienced myself. Like as far as like the artificial intelligence, and some people are saying that they have microchips. I could very well be microchipped, okay? I don't know, but I don't think so, okay? But there's some things that made me think that, because I remember taking my son to a doctor when he was little, and he was there for a regular checkup. And I have a birthmark on my right thigh. And the doctor, as he was examining my son, said, "Oh, what's that on your leg?" And he thought it could be a tumor. It's not a tumor. It's just a cluster of moles is basically on my right thigh. And I said, "Oh, I was born with that." And okay. And so he goes, "Let me do something." And he put a needle inside of my thigh. Now, I'm not saying that I'm being tracked, okay, or that I have a microchip, because I don't know. But why would somebody do that? I was there to take my son to the doctor. I didn't ask for the shot. So what was he injecting into my leg? This is something I've often thought about. But anyway, I know that there are other people who talking about they're being chipped and they have all these other issues, and some people are getting hit by electronic energy weapons. I don't know. I haven't experienced that myself, okay? But I'm not saying I doubt them, because I'm amazed at the kind of technology that we have nowadays and what they can actually do. And the sad part is these things should be regulated, and they shouldn't be able to fall into the hands of, you know, just anybody. I mean, it just amazes me what people have at their power of their fingertips, you know, and it's not good to let a lot of people have access to it. So, but, you know, it's just gotten to the point where just corruption is just everywhere. I mean, it's so corrupt. The world is so corrupt, and people don't know what's right or wrong. You know, we do live in a topsy-turvy world. And, you know, I will say this, and this is the only thing I'm going to say, is everything I have noticed that this is the truth. If you really look at things, everything they say to do, you shouldn't do. And everything you shouldn't do, they tell you to do, not to do, you should do. And I've seen this over and over and over again. This world is not what we think it is. You know, it just isn't. You know, they say one thing, but they mean another. And yeah, it's terrifying. You think that you have things, you think that you make it on your merit in this world? No, you don't. And that's where the biggest issue is. And people spend thousands of dollars going to these like expensive, expensive colleges and stuff like that. And somebody can put a stop to your life just at the snap of their fingertips. Okay. So I'm going to say that this whole idea that you can get somewhere based off of the skills that you have, your knowledge or whatever, that's bullshit. Okay. There's always a system in place, and there's always this arrogant form of hierarchy that will make that determining choice for you. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Be back on another one later. Enjoy in the park. Bye-bye.